Yeah? Great. I just started Periscope.
All right.
Hi, everybody. So in just a few minutes, we'll be doing a chat with Jeremy Irons, the star of The Man Who Knew Infinity. So my mom's going to hold the camera and just do like this. Okay, I'm going to go sit down. So, right, just hold it up. It's now facing the other way. So if you touch on the spot, you'll focus. That's Jeremy Irons' dog here.
Yeah, you need to be, with this much noise, you need to be on the other side.
For those of you who might think that your friends or followers would enjoy it, please take a moment to share. My notes that I took.
No, she's not drinking and driving.
Never. My notes.
Can you guys hear me when I talk?
What?
I'm asking if they can hear me when I talk. Hi, Jessie. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Harlan. Let's see, what can I show you? So you're just not totally hanging out, but you're seeing the dog. You all just kind of do around the room. There's Jeremy Irons there. Party goers. Party goers. Thank you, Cassie. Party goers. More party goers. This is fellow right here. This is Danica's manager. So now we're back. There's some photographers, and I think they might be coming right in front of where I'm going to stand. Okay. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, cooking. That dog belongs to Jeremy Irons. It's just noisy. What's that?
I'm going to go to the other side.
Okay, okay.
Gather your drinks and conversation.
Yeah, we visited with Jeremy Irons for a few minutes a little bit ago. He's just amazing. He's really nice guy, very charming. There's the house video. There we go. Ready? Yes, Harlan, she is. Try not to have it be people's backs. Oh my goodness, something about the man who knew infinity. You can see it in the back. Okay, well, I need backdrop has it all. The man who knew infinity. And I know more of this also in it. It's I'm sure they're going to quiet down in a moment.
That's what I want.
Yeah, great. Yeah, because they said when I mentioned
You guys have your
The man that Danica is talking to now was a professor at UCLA. Not when she was there. He was a professor at UCLA. He's the hi Teresa. He was the what do you call it? Not advisor, but you know, the expert, the math expert for the movie. Danica is drinking water.
Are you guys going to move to the side?
No, I want to find you something for your feet.
okay.
David.
Sarah. I gotta get out of the way. Hello.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Trying to get out of the way so people can
Before we introduce
Somebody's
the Master of Ceremonies in Germany, I'd like to introduce Ken Ono. Ken was a mathematics advisor to our film, and he'd say a few words.
Great, thank you very much. Isn't it a lovely film? So I'd like to begin by saying that this film is, actually, I've had the time of my life. I have a day job where I teach math classes, and the last thing I thought that would ever happen to me in my life would be to spend time promoting a big-time Hollywood film that I think is important. So before Jeremy and Danica have this lovely conversation, there's a few things I do want to say. So now that you've seen the film, there's a little bit of math in it. And some of the things that we really like about the film is the message of this man, Ramanujan. And for me, Ramanujan was always very important as a symbol of hope. What does he represent? He represents the fact that talent can often be found in the most unforgiving of circumstances. And I'm delighted that Ed, IFC Films, and Jeremy and others, and Danica tonight, are helping support this message, because we live at a time where we need to restore the value in intellectual capital. Hint, hint. So a few months ago, when we screened the film in Silicon Valley, we had a conversation about where will we find the next generation of scientists? Because the reality is, science, you think, proceeds because thousands of people work together, slowly chipping away at difficult problems. There's some truth to that, but the reality is that every once in a while, a genius comes along and propels a subject forward. Think Einstein, think Richard Feynman. And now we have Ramanujan. So I am delighted that this film is helping to make Ramanujan a household name. After we screened the film in Silicon Valley, the president of the Templeton World Charity Foundation approached me and said, "We have to do this. I'm going to give you $100,000, and I'm going to help you and the film find undiscovered talent in the world." So we've been doing it. I'm delighted to say we found a 10-year-old in Qatar, a 10-year-old who discovered his own procedure for calculating digits of pi. We found in Atlanta a boy who learned calculus by himself, and at 11 was the youngest ever to pass the AP calculus test with a perfect score. And just earlier this week, this is perhaps the best story, we found a little girl in Baltimore, Maryland. She lives with a single mom. Father's died a long time ago. She's from inner city Baltimore. And thanks to the support of the Templeton World Charity Foundation, we're offering her a full scholarship where to attend one of the best schools in Baltimore. And she's now top of her calculus class at the Park School. She passed 3 years of math in 3 months because of our help. So in any event, this is a film that I think matters. Ramanujan, by every measure, his science is important. He helps power the internet. Most of the stories you read about now involving black hole physics make use of some of his formulas. That's all true. And as an emotional story, this is something that we can all believe in, that greatness and talent can be found in unbelievable places. And you know what? It's our job to nurture it. First, recognize it, then nurture it, and then bring it along. So I can't tell you how thrilled I've been, how thrilled I am to have been part of all of this. So I just wanted to say those few words, and I'll pass this back to Ed. I think it's a wonderful film. Tell all of your friends about it. I think it's one of the best films of all time.
Thank you, Sam and Annie, for helping get this campaign going in honor of Jeremy. Our master of ceremonies tonight is Danica McKellar. She's a well-known actress from The Wonder Years and The West Wing, and also has a degree in mathematics from UCLA, where she helped prove a new math theorem. She continues to act and is now author of several best-selling math books, including Math Doesn't Suck.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you so much. And by the way, a little bit of trivia. Ed and Jeremy Irons have a history together, quite a long history. They worked together 25 years ago in Reversal of Fortune. Thank you so much for having me. I love this film on so many levels. I, of course, have a degree in mathematics. I helped to prove new theorems. And this movie brought me back again and again to the feelings that you have when you're a mathematician and you're trying to prove something, you can't quite get it, and then you finally do. And when you have that moment, it is as if though chaos is swirling in front of you and it suddenly crystallizes into the most beautiful figure you've ever seen. I used to call it a math high. I would wake up in the middle of the night, I had a chalkboard in my apartment, and I'd get up and have an idea, and I'd write it down, and then I'd be like, okay, now I can sleep. It was absolutely addicting and seductive and, yes, romantic, as the movie kept saying, near the beginning especially. And that might sound so foreign to most people who think of math as being very dry and boring, but when you are dealing with things like infinity, it is absolutely electrifying. And I'm going to tell you a math joke. Are you okay with that? All right. So why did the mathematician have a wife and a mistress? That way the wife could think he was with the mistress could think he was with the wife, and he was really out doing mathematics. This is the amazing part of mathematics that most people don't see. And you, Jeremy, you brought this to life. It was so real for me watching the film. So I can tell you, as a former mathematician who's done this, you really brought it to life. And I was very emotional many times. I want to know, for you, how you captured that. What was your preparation in this role, playing a mathematician?
Good evening, thanks for coming. If you haven't had a dry martini, they're very good. I am not a mathematician. The reason I have a wife and a mistress is quite different. The mistress sitting at my feet, of course. I really got inside Hardy by reading a wonderful little book, which if you haven't read it's worth finding, called The Mathematician's Apology, which is a collection of some of his lectures. That sounds a bit dry. But what it does is it makes the layman like me understand the excitement that you were sharing. So when you wake up in the middle of the night, it all clarifies and you write, wonderful. And when you're dealing with pure mathematics, it is a language. It is, and as I think we say in the film, it's as if those theorems, those equations are out there, and they're just you're waiting to focus them into your mind. So once I discovered this very dry Englishman's passion for his mathematics, his pure mathematics, then I could relate to him, because he no longer was mathematics dry. I, of course, being an Englishman, know about contained emotion. Something wrong with this microphone, isn't it? We're doing all right. So I was able to play that. It was very interesting. The book, which you should read, The Man Who Knew Infinity, which enlarges the film and tells you a lot more about the characters. G.H. Hardy was a genius since he went to school at the age of 7, and geniuses are always difficult to deal with, and so I think he was probably also a bit aspergic. He certainly had no social skills. So when he met this rather extraordinary, bright jewel from India, he didn't know what to do. He couldn't look at him to start with, and then eventually found that their shared passion opened him up emotionally, and I think that's what it's very nice to see that in the film. He went on, he left Cambridge, he went to Oxford, and he then began to have real relationships. But I think it was Ramanujan who broke, so to speak, his emotional hymen. And he has that to thank.
Jeremy Irons.
And on that note, lovely, well put. I couldn't have put it that way myself. So, by the way, in a moment, we're going to open it up to a few audience questions. So if you want to think of something good, please do. I want to ask you a question. What was your favorite moment in this movie, either as a finished scene or in the making of it, with your experience?
It's always very difficult. I mean, well, what is my favourite? I don't know.
A favorite.
A favourite moment. I love the walk through the centre of Trinity. No one's ever been able to film in Trinity before. I wish I had another microphone. I'm sorry about this. And they've never allowed anybody to, because they're so cut off, you know, those academics at Cambridge. As we see, by the way, they dealt with Ramanujan only 100 years ago. And they didn't certainly want film companies in their hallowed walls, but they allowed us in because they were so proud of Ramanujan and of Hardy, and they wanted that story told. So what I loved doing was that walk through the quads on the way to the cricket match with the umbrella, which sort of summed up an awful lot of... You know, the great thing about Cambridge is, if you're an academic there, when you can't teach anymore because you're completely batty rather than just slightly batty, they house you and feed you for the rest of your life. So as we were there, and it was out of term time, but the old and completely batty ex-academics were still living there, and you'd see them coming down these staircases, wandering around in extraordinary clothes, and they made Hardy look completely conventional and rather boring. And I wish I'd seen some of them before I started playing my part. So that was a great experience to be there in Cambridge.
She's here to interview.
All right, do we have any questions about either a math question for me or an acting question?
No, you could do both.
But not about this movie, thank you. Dev, so you had this amazing co-star, Dev Patel, who, by the way, although Dev Patel is the lead, you are certainly, could be considered a lead yourself. Extraordinary. Anyway, so Dev Patel, this amazing actor, what was your experience like with him?
Dev is great. I mean, he's very open, he's very easy, he's very, he doesn't carry a lot of bullshit with him. And he just did his best, as we did our best together, and tried to see what would happen. Why are you making that face? Yeah, you were making a face. It wasn't, all right. I thought I was putting my foot in something. No? Dev was absolutely lovely. I'm sorry he isn't here. He was very nearly here because he's making a film in India at the moment, and 3 days ago his director tried to stop a fan from turning with his thumb and cut his thumb off, and so they stopped shooting with, well, the director has it bandaged up and stitched back on, but sadly he's made a rather sharp recovery, so they're continuing. The film is there, therefore couldn't come. But he was a joy, absolute joy to work with.
Any questions from you guys? Yes.
There's a question.
When you do like a speech like you did before the faculty, where you're trying to sell the faculty on accepting this person as a fellow, what kind of preparation goes into a speech like that?
Learning the lines.
It's very different from playing off of another actor.
Yeah, learning the lines and concentrating into the situation and, I don't know, doing it, you know, thinking you love this guy because he's great and he should be accepted, and you have to make the lines make sense and make them felt, and it's no different really from anything else. I mean, acting is only thinking and listening, and now and again you have to talk, and the two are tied up to the thinking really, and the concentrating and being in the moment. You know, it's what we do naturally. I mean, I just was very concerned that I wouldn't sell him well enough to get them to agree. So that was my concern. I don't want to talk about acting's so easy.
Someone else? I think there was someone else. Yes?
Oh, no, I was saying hi,
there was
but I'll ask something.
Hi. You can just say hi if you want.
No,
Say hi or
Hi.
as an artist, I have like a missing part of my brain which should have contained math, and I'm wondering if that's true
If you're missing that piece of your brain as well.
and you just basically had to fake it and fake the wonder and all of that. It could be a yes or no answer. I don't know.
It's all fake. Did you see that picture of Tom Hanks when he was on the tanker? You know, yeah, well, Tom can't drive a tanker.
Right.
He pretends.
Yes.
One of my favorite scenes in the film was when he went back home, and then the camera had you turning around, and you faced kind of like the camera. And it was the emotional depth in your face of how you felt for him leaving now. And you knew that there was possibility that you would never see him again. And that scene alone is so incredible. It's very nice.
There's that thinking in that, right?
There's that thinking, you're right.
Thinking and the camera will capture it.
And that's what's incredible. Very good.
I agree. Completely incredible. Any last burning questions?
Burning.
All right, so then my last question to you. Oh, yes.
I don't have a question. I just want to say this to Mr. Irons. You have never disappointed.
She says he has never disappointed her. Nor has any of us.
Only my wife could say the same.
And my final question to you, Jeremy, we all love this film so much. Your performance is so incredible. What would it mean to you to get an Academy nomination for this role?
Well, yeah, I'd be very pleased, because it would mean that a lot of people who hadn't heard of the film or hadn't seen the film would want to go and see it, because they'd be curious as to why Irons had been nominated. And the only thing I care about really was good work, which I think this is. I mean, it's an old-fashioned film in a way. I don't say that in a denigrating way, but it's an emotionally, I think, very fecund film, and I think we are deprived of such stories in our entertainment industry, and I think so if I were to gain a nomination, I'd be very pleased, because more people will get to see it. We could give it a strong second release, and I think it would give a lot of people a good time. I mean, it's very interesting. I think, what is it, Ed? It's number 7 on the in success on the IFC releases. So it did well, but earlier in the year. But it needs, I think it needs to do even better.
Is it going to the White House?
We're going to the White House with it on Friday. And I've had strict instructions from my wife to have a photo of Smudge on the steps of the White House. So that's all I'm concerned about. But I'm very pleased that the film will be shown there. And you know, if we do have success in that race, it will be great for the film, and I think in a small little way it'll be great for the industry.
And perhaps great for the reputation of mathematics. Although people see, as is part of my mission in life, the mathematics is so rich and wonderful. And thank you, Jeremy, thank you to this film for bringing that to life. Martinis are great, check them out. I want to give this to somebody so it doesn't look like me.
And he said nothing but amazing things about you. He loves you too. They're so pleased to see you here.
Oh, she's the mathematician.
Put that USB out.
I'm not sure if she can. I know she wants to say a couple words with you guys, but I don't know if she's going to be able to here.
Actually, I'd love to get a shot.
My mom's been first.
Oh, this is your. Yeah, this is your parents' go.
Well, send it to me or send it to Dan.
This is the Periscope live broadcast right now. Hi.
Nicely done. Thank you.
Thanks.
Great to meet you.
Do you want me to say goodbye for you?
Yes, I will. Hang on a second. Thank you, everybody, so much. Thank you for watching the Dan and Cam. You're the D Squad. Mwah. Thank you for all your follows and all your shares. Bye.